This is a good hoof for me to talk about vertical bar. You can see the height of that bar, and what I'm talking about is right here. Right at the back of the bar, it's at the same level of the heel as the bar comes off the heel, and then it ramps downward along the collateral groove and kind of just above the sole. I don't know how I can show you that. Kind of there, you can see this ridge here. You can see that ridge there above the sole. So this bar is not particularly high. It's just a little bit high. Same with the one on the other side of this hoof. Again, if we kind of look down from the back, you see, the bar is at the same height of the heel and then ramps downward as it goes along the collateral groove. But you can see there is a bit of a ridge where it's sticking up over the sole. And I apologize, I don't have a camera holder today, so I'm trying to hold the camera, hold the hoof, and trim it at the same time. So I'm gonna use my curved blade knife and go kind of from this ridge forward. And I'm just gonna go in order to bring this vertical bar even with the sole so that it's not sticking up. And I don't want to dig into the sole. I don't want to gouge anything out. Easy, easy. So I'm pretty happy with that. If I did any more, I would be taking off the sole, and I don't want to do that. So all I've done is made that bar ramp down from the front of the heel to mimic the natural concavity of the sole. So there's no ridge there. It just all blends in naturally. That's my goal with a tall vertical bar. I don't want to remove the bar, I don't want to dig it out of the hoof, but I do want to make it passive so that it doesn't create a pressure point for the hoof. So this hoof is a really good example because on the lateral side here, we have what I would call a little bit of a laid over or embedded bar, and on the medial side, we have a more vertical bar right along here. So we'll get the chance to demonstrate trimming both. The vertical bar, like I showed in the other video, we take off just a little bit off the top to mimic the concavity of the sole. Versus the embedded bar, we're actually going to have to trim into the sole area just a little bit to mimic that concavity as you go down. And you can kind of see the solar concavity as it gets filled in with the bar. Easy. Right along this edge here. Good girl. So I'm going to start with trimming the vertical bar. And like I did in the other video, easy, I'm just going to take the edge off as it ramps down from in front of the heel in little slivers, just to blend into the natural concavity of the sole. You can see a little bit of bruising peeking through here. This bar is pretty high. And I am taking a little bit of the sole over here, not a lot, just enough so that this concavity is uniform and flows through to the edge. So there's not a big bulge right here. Just like that. And I'm going to make it smooth all the way from in front of the heel, in this case, to the apex of the frog, because she had a lump here. In the other video, that horse with vertical bar did not have it all the way down along the length of the frog, so I didn't have to do that. And you can see this bruising here as a result of this bar being too high and pushing into the sole, causing a bruise. I have a little bit of a ramp right here. We'll just smooth that out. I like to be really specific with my knife, try to avoid these gouges at the toe. That's pretty superficial, so I'm not worried about it. But a lot of times it's really hard to be precise on this bar because it's so hard to trim. Okay, so we'll work on this laid over bar now. And it's kind of the same thing. I'm gonna come down and just take off little slivers to make this bar blend into the concavity of the sole. However, in a laid over bar, I've got this weird lumpy ridge here in the sole, which is actually bar overgrowing the sole, so I want to take that out as well. And I can see there's a little bit of an abscess pocket here in this bar. That's normal for these embedded bars, and I don't generally dig them out or even really explore them unless they're oozing and kind of milky or anything like that. So again, we've got bruising here from this lumpy bar. Easy. And I'm just going to smooth it out. I don't want to dig deeper than that natural sole plane, so where I can envision this sole going to, but I do want to smooth out the bar so it's not lumpy. And in this case, I'm pretty happy with it like that. And like I said, I'm gonna leave this little abscess pocket, and I'm not gonna explore that deeper. It's gonna grow out on its own with good, proper trimming. Now, I'll just make sure you can see this concavity here now that we've trimmed it. See that ramp? Easy. Down from the sole. So the bar is passive to the height of the rest of the foot. Just like that. Easy, girl.